What's going on, Alabama fans? This is Brandon, aka Fresh, COO of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming back with another one, guys. It seems like every other day I just can't help but to come back and drop some more fire, guys. And this one it might be just as hot as the last ones, guys. And that is the potential, the possibility of Louisville sophomore receiver Tyler Harrell potentially joining Alabama in the transfer portal. He has put his name in the portal, and Alabama is rumored to potentially be a top team for his services. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, before I even get started, because I got a lot to drop on this one and y'all gonna want to hear this. Y'all know what to do. You know the rules. Like, gang. Let me see y'all at 500 likes. We're trying to get there. Go ahead and smash the like button if you have not done so. Subscribe if you have not done so as well. All the real Tide fans, you know what to do. Please make sure you're doing so. Got to get those likes up. Make sure you're commenting as well as we're going through this. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if Tyler Harrell commits to Alabama, it's game over. Just go ahead and just give Alabama the championship for the 2022 season. You know, you ever played college football or Madden or something like that, and you just like simulate the whole season? Just go ahead and simulate the season. No, there's no point in even playing the games because it's going to be pointless. It's game over. Okay. Alabama's defense is going to be much improved. The schedule is not overly, difficult. And then you're just giving Nick Saban more added firepower. You just got Tyler Steen in the transfer portal, big time commit from Vanderbilt to solidify that offensive line. And now, after getting Jermaine Burton in the transfer portal, you're going to turn right around and get a Tyler Harrell who, if you look at his stats, it's nothing that you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, otherworldly. But if you take a little deep dive into it, let me give you a comparison. Maybe some of you Alabama fans, maybe y'all might know who this person is. So Alabama last year picked up a transfer portal wide receiver, and he came from Ohio State. Let me just read you his stats. So you have a sophomore. He had played 2 years at Ohio State, 9 receptions, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17.1 yards per catch. Tyler Harrell, 18 receptions, 523 yards, 6 touchdowns, 29.1 yards per catch. But let me just back up for a quick second. So you have a speedster that played 2 years at a previous school, decides to transfer for a better opportunity at Alabama, winds up with his 2021 stats, 79 catches, 1,572 yards, 15 touchdowns, 19.9 yards per catch. Does this maybe sound familiar? If you haven't picked up on the name, this is Jameson Williams. Not overly productive at Ohio State. He was kind of mixed in with a lot of wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Olave, to name a few. And I believe he knew what his talents knew what his talent was, and he believed that he could have a better opportunity, especially with guys like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith moving on to the NFL draft, and having a quarterback like Bryce Young. He saw that I could possibly do some things with them if they'll have me. And Alabama, sure enough, had him, and he had his way in the SEC and all through college football. Unfortunately, as you know, he tore his ACL in the national championship game, and Alabama's season was derailed by that potentially because there was no one else to throw the ball to, as you already know. So Tyler Harrell, 18 receptions, 6 touchdowns. If you're good at math, like I am, not to brag, 33% touchdowns per catch. So that means every time that every 6 times he caught the ball, it was a touchdown. Or I'm sorry, every third time that he caught the ball was a touchdown. Like, that is pretty impressive. Now, you're not expecting that to necessarily translate. Of course, Nick Saban would definitely take that. But what I will tell you will translate, and that's speed. Speed kills. That's something that John Madden used to say all the time. And this guy reportedly ran a 10.35 in high school. They even said he was clocked sub 4.2. And even if it's above 4.2, I mean, I don't care if it's 4.3. That is absolutely blazing speed. And it shows on tape. He's a track guy. But he also has been productive, even though it's not overly like, you know, you're looking for 50 catches, you know, maybe a little bit more of that. But, you know, Alabama has enough receivers to where if you have a guy that you know is one-on-one on the outside, you got a quarterback that can get him the ball at any spot on the field. And he has this ability to get you 30 yards per catch. Wow. Like, that is something that, I mean, it's almost becoming unfair. Like, Nick Saban tried to warn, you know, the college football world when they allowed this transfer portal. It was like, you know, is this what y'all really want? Are you sure? Y'all know how I get down in recruiting. You know what I'm about to do. Is this really what y'all want? He tried to warn, and this is what you're starting to see. You're starting to see big time potential prospects, you know, who may not necessarily see themselves as big time stars at their current school, and taking advantage of what Alabama has to offer. You know, there was probably, for a lot of obvious reasons, didn't have a lot of space in the recruiting class, and Alabama just didn't come to knocking because you have 5 stars all across the board who you're trying to recruit, and maybe you just get overlooked. And Tyler Harrell, you know, he sees himself as a potential big time player, and he's looking at Jameson Williams and saying, hey, this guy had less receptions than I did, less production than I did, and he's about to be a top 15 pick in the National Football League. I could do that. Well, let me go ahead and potentially call Nick Saban and see if he has some room for me. And going back to the reason why I say this could be game over for college football, just add this to the stable of receivers that Alabama currently has. And it's like a track team. Look at the speed. Jermaine Burton, JoJo Earl, Christian Leary, Aaron Anderson, Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice. Those are the young guys. And I'm not even talking about the possession type receivers, you know, like Trayshawn Holden. You still have Ja'Cory Brooks, who will be back more than likely in the fall. And you add all this speed to Nick Saban and Bryce Young. Oh my gosh. And did I mention that this guy is a kick returner too? Did you remember what Jameson Williams did last year as a kick returner? 10 kick returns, over 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Harrell is also a kick returner as well. So you bring him from, average program in Louisville, bring him to the top program in all of college football, and you throw him with other 5-star players. What do you think this guy's going to do? Potentially. He sees the writing on the wall. You go from somewhere where you have to show out on the combine to probably get drafted maybe in the 3rd round. And then you go to an Alabama where if you just show out for one season, he could be one and done, just like Jameson, possibly get him a national championship and make himself a lot of money. Just because he runs a 4.2, 10 something, 100 meter dash. This is, I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. This is absolutely mind-boggling that college football allowed this to happen. You put a guy who was already the top recruiting coach and you give him another outlet. He was already getting 5-star players, the top 4-star players in the country. And then you say, oh, well, that's not enough. Y'all can just pick and choose what you want, after the season's over. Just open up the transfer portal. Nick Saban knows how to take advantage, and he's absolutely doing that. Alabama fans, if this happens, go ahead and just start ordering your championship rings. I'm not going to say don't go to the games. I mean, you go to the games and be entertained, but just expect, what they call a joyless murder ball. You might see a lot of that this year. And Bryce Young, he may not repeat as Heisman because he might do what Tua did in 2018 where he just didn't play the 4th quarter, because you might see just touchdowns. He might just throw, bombs, 1st, 2nd quarter and just put teams away by halftime. And then you see Jalen Milroe and maybe even Ty Simpson in the game in the second half of a lot of these games, because this is absolutely going to be ridiculous. I'm actually pretty scared at the possibility of adding someone like this to this already pretty decent stable of receivers, but mainly the speed. The speed is what really is what is throwing me off here. Like, I'm absolutely just looking at this sheet right here. I have it right here in my hands. Just looking at the potential of seeing a 4x1 team on Alabama's roster. It's pretty remarkable. Well, guys, if you stayed to the end of this video, give yourself a pat on the back. Like gang, you know what to do. Make sure you have hit that like button, smash it. Trying to get 500 likes. Remember, that's the minimum. We're not taking anything less than that. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I have been slacking. I forgot to mention, make sure, other than not just following us on our other social media platforms, Twitter, TD Alabama Mag, Instagram, TD Alabama Mag, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our online content, a lot of insider information, touchdownalabama.com, $7.95 for the monthly, $74.95 for an annual. Make sure you go to the App Store or the Android Google Play Store. Get the TDA app now. Why are you waiting? Go ahead and do that now. Download the app so you can get all the updates. We always put a lot of updates every day. Any type of breaking news content or just updates you just may not be able to see. And then with A-Day coming up, there's going to be tons of content after the A-Day because we just gotta flood the content with everything you need to know about Alabama and what you should expect to see for the 2022 season. All right, well, that is all I have for y'all. This is Brandon, aka Fresh. I'm signing out again. Thank y'all again. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this video, and I will see y'all in the next one.